The longest standing rivalry in the MAC conference continues on Saturday between the CMU versus EMU. We got the 103rd meeting ever in the 123 years since the really start of this rivalry. Started in 1902 between these two teams. Like I said, longest rivalry in the MAC conference. Obviously, lots of games between these two teams. I believe Central has like a 60 plus wins to like 33 win edge. So it's been a little bit more successful for CMU's side of things. But both of these teams are coming in with a win. You have Eastern Michigan getting a 34-31 win over Louisiana at home with a game-winning field goal at the very end. And then you also have Central Michigan getting a pretty dominant win over Wagner at home as well. And this is going to be a game that's taking place at Central Michigan. Currently, I believe Central is like a 6-point favorite in this game, and that's going to be my prediction. I truly think that Central is going to end up winning this game. I think we've seen a little bit more from Central this year. I think the Central team is better than Eastern Michigan, not only because of what I've seen them and just how they have played, but just because of what we've seen throughout this year, right? Like I've talked about Eastern Michigan. I've mentioned that I thought they were going to win a game that they did not end up winning. Now, I think offensively, this Eastern Michigan team is pretty good, and I think we've seen that throughout this year, but defensively is truly where Eastern really has truly been the question mark of this team, and that's one of the biggest differences in my opinion, because I don't think this Central defense is anywhere elite by any measure whatsoever. But if you look at these two teams, when it comes to like turnovers, when it comes to just overall defense, I truly think that this Central team is better. And I think that's really going to be the biggest difference is the defense and then also what Central does offensively. I think they're going to truly want to make this a very physical game. I think that's just the way it has always been between both of these opponents. You also are going to deal with quarterbacks that do different things, and that's obviously difficult to prepare for, especially because, one, when you're struggling defensively, it's hard to prepare for a game, but two, when you have to prepare for two quarterbacks, even when you're playing good defense and they do different things, it's still pretty difficult to prepare for, in my opinion. Then you also have EMU's side of things. You have Noah Kim continues to perform pretty well. They have a couple wide receivers that continue to perform well. I just think when you look at what this Central Michigan team wants to do, it just aligns more with how you win this game than what Eastern Michigan wants to do. And I know that Coach Drinkle, this is his first ever Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan rivalry game. You obviously have to talk about that, just really how big of a win this would be for Central if they do end up getting it. And you also have Coach Creighton. He's been around Eastern Michigan for a long time. He understands this rivalry, and I think this is going to be something going into it. Obviously, it might not be as big of a rivalry as like Central Western, but still a rivalry that means something, right? Like it's a rivalry that has been around for as long as it has. Central's been pretty much dominant in the rivalry. I think Coach Drinkle is going to fully understand that. And I think with the home crowd, you're absolutely going to be the favorite, and you're probably going to win this game, in my opinion. I just think what Coach Drinkle is doing is just a little bit too much for Eastern Michigan. I think offensively, Central, they have weapons. They've had just running the ball capabilities. Just that physical offense that Coach Drinkle and this offensive coordinator likes to run, truly I think makes the biggest difference of this game. Offensively, defensively, I think Central is just a little bit better than what Eastern has going for it. But again, experience in a rivalry game can make a difference. It can matter. I think Coach Creighton's going to have these guys prepared on the Eastern Michigan side of things. And with the rivalry, you never know, because it truly doesn't matter necessarily going up into this game, especially when it comes to rivalry games, because we've seen teams that have been better. We've seen teams that have had better records go into a team's home field and upset them. And I truly think that this would be an upset. Now, if you look at ESPN, I believe ESPN actually has Eastern Michigan as a slight favorite when it comes to win percentage. But when you come betting, like it's like a 6, I think, point Central Michigan spread, there's a thing called Vegas, right? Like, Vegas isn't always right, but Vegas is pretty accurate for the most part. Now, is that the sole reason why I'm picking Central Michigan in this game? No, I've already laid out, like, offensively, defensively. I think they're going to cause Eastern Michigan more issues than Eastern will cause Central. But you never know in the MAC. We've seen teams pull off upsets. We've already seen a team pull off an upset in Western Michigan last week. Like, this could be something that could truly start momentum for either of these teams. Like, if you're Coach Drinkle, if you end up getting this win, you have momentum going into your next game. You start 1-0 in conference play. How huge would that be? If you're Eastern, look at Eastern side of things. You haven't had the season that you wanted so far, but if you get a win against a rival at a rival's place, there's momentum. And it's all about truly momentum. It's about carrying over what they did last game. And I think with what I've said and what I've already saw, I think Central will continue that momentum going forward. And that's truly why I think Central ended up winning, is momentum. Just overall talent, I think, offensively, defensively. I think just the overall meshing of the group, just the style of offense, the style of defense, I truly think is going to make the biggest difference of this game. But, hey, I've been wrong about Eastern before. Maybe Eastern Michigan can go in, get the upset. Wouldn't necessarily surprise me too much because, guess what, it's MAC football. Upsets happen all the time. But because of those factors, I think Central ends up getting the win. And I think it's a close game, but I think Central ends up pulling out at the end, especially with a home crowd behind them, because I truly think that people know and understand what this rivalry is going to be like. Again, not as big as Western, but still a long-running rivalry, with this being the 103rd edition in 123 years. So definitely means something. Definitely excited to see how this goes. But if you enjoy this recap, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment. Make sure to also subscribe. Want to continue to grow this channel. Want to continue to have subscribers. Want to continue to get more people involved as this as well. But hopefully you enjoy this. Hopefully this goes a little bit better than the last time I talked about Eastern Michigan. But if it doesn't, then I was wrong about Eastern Michigan again. So we'll see if Eastern Michigan surprised me or if Central ends up getting the win in this one.